You want to see the worst job description ever?
We are looking for a creative and highly motivated individual to join our dynamic team.
And the reason this person got rejected from a job is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at some insane job listings and demands. It's probably going to sound like I'm all over the place because I have so many different examples to show you today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just jump right into it.
I got tagged in this next one more than perhaps I've ever been tagged before. And the reason this person got rejected from a job is absolutely ridiculous. And it goes like this. The email goes like this. Hi, Gavin. We appreciate you taking the time to interview with us, but unfortunately we will be pursuing other candidates. So far, makes sense. This is where it gets a little bit odd. For future reference, asking questions about salary, responsibilities, and work culture are not things we like to discuss during the interview process. Now, think about that list of three. Salary, the responsibilities, and the culture of the business. What on earth are you meant to talk about in an interview if you're not allowed to talk about any of those things? I would argue those are the only three things you should be talking about in an interview. The idea he's been rejected because he's asked about salary, what the job's roughly going to be doing, and like the business and what it's like to work there is absolutely ludicrous. I have never seen anything quite like this.
Especially when these same exact companies want to know absolutely everything about you. We're going to see examples in this video with some insane questions just in the application process alone, but I don't think it's really a secret to anyone. The only reason why most people want to work at these companies at the end of the day is the salary they're going to get paid. And I guess if you bring that up during the interview process, you just cross the line. That's too far for them. Some of the comments, do you want a job here? Is it a good job? How dare you? This interview's over. Get out. He just avoided a giant business red flag. I agree with that, but still, now you gotta go out in the world again and do the whole process over, get ghosted and rejected by a whole bunch of other companies. It's just a vicious cycle. My sister got rejected from a minimum wage job because she apparently lived too far away when I already worked there and we lived in the same house. The job was a 20-minute walk up the road. Tell me your company is toxic without telling me. There were tons of comments like that, but we'll get into some of the other screenshots and examples that I found. My boyfriend got asked on an application to pay for a subscription. Does not guarantee the job. Just immediately to me sounds like a complete scam of a job listing. I remember in an older video we saw one where you had to go to this specific website to get your credit checked and it cost a couple dollars and you were supposed to send the results along with your application, and I'm pretty sure it was a complete scam, not an actual job, just taking money from desperate people looking for a job. Another one right here, senior software engineer consultant. Everything seems pretty fine until you read, as a consultant, you'd be occasionally required to join a meeting under another name/profile representing our team as a technical expert. This is a key requirement and candidates must be comfortable with this. Join client meetings to present Upward Tech using provided profiles. So if that doesn't scream red flags, I don't know what does, trying to make it look like you're other people. Something very shady is going on with this company and they're just putting it out in the open on the job application. That's nuts. Here we have a screenshot of another rejection letter. They didn't even have the decency to cut out their copy and paste that they inevitably got from some higher up before sending out this email. Write a warm but generic rejection email that sounds polite yet firm. Do not mention specific reasons for rejection. Make the candidate feel like they were strongly considered even if they weren't. Remember to use candidate's name and company name variables. Like, how lazy can you be? You didn't see that entire paragraph before sending out this email? We have a comment from one of you guys, sick of the company is a family BS. It's not genuine, professional, invasion of boundaries, and just another way to guilt trip people into doing more work for less. Do not get emotionally attached to your work. They'll say the family stuff, it's a fast-paced work environment, we work hard and play hard, all ways for you to do way more than 40 hours of work a week for bare bones pay, of course.
You want to see the worst job description ever? Social media manager and video editor. Sounds basic, right? Full-time, 31,200, weekends, Monday to Friday, holidays, and on call. I want you to remember this for a hot second, okay? 5 years ago, I decided to quit my secure 9-to-5 job in order to pursue my dreams of building my own real estate brokerage. I worked 60-hour weeks. How do you work if you don't have a job anymore? 60-hour weeks until I finally made enough money to replace the income from my previous job. Again, why did you? Once I hit that achievement, I started working 80-hour weeks in an effort to scale my business even further. This is supposed to be a job description.
So this is just a nightmare from the start. I don't know why we need the origin story for whoever put out this job application, but to me this sounds like you would be working way more than you should be, especially for $31,000 a year. How do you think putting that in a job description would sell anybody on actually working for you? Another screenshot here, provide your 10-year work history in order, including part-time and temporary, school, military, and/or periods of unemployment. There should be no gaps, missing addresses, phone numbers, etc. If a company is no longer in operation, provide the last known address and phone number, or list the current number and address of past supervisors. Applications will not be accepted with date gaps or missing information. Do not type "see resume" if employer is under a different name. Please list the name used. And I mean, you have to know this is for some sort of job that is not really significant. You do not need the last decade's worth of work history. Another one here, short and sweet, pay structure, first 30 business days, unpaid observation period. So to me, this sounds like a way to get free labor for a month, and then magically, as soon as you're about to get paid, there's some sort of issue, you maybe broke some sort of rule, they'll end up firing you and there's nothing you could do. And you just worked for them for basically nothing. We have one right here that goes well with the next clip I'm going to show you. Application process, interview with recruiter, then a technical assessment, interview with future manager, interview with team members, interview with the head of international operations, a bar raiser interview, and then a prior employment verification check. So when you see examples like this from people, just know that this actually happens.
After 6 interviews, a in-depth project, and a project presentation, I did not get the job. Good for whoever got it. I guess I'll get him next time.
6 interviews, a project, and a presentation. Didn't get the job. Another example of something sounding like just free labor to me that should actually be illegal, or at least they pay you for your time. That's awful, I'm sorry. Companies with interview processes this torturous should be named and dragged through the mud on LinkedIn. We have one found by a creator on TikTok. Have I just found the worst job listing on LinkedIn? Doesn't start off that bad. Develop and implement creative concepts that align with our mission. Oversee the planning, execution, and delivery of creative products, ensuring they meet our high standards. All right, whatever. But then you have to receive a certificate of internship completion and professional references to boost your career prospects. What does that mean? And then the farther you get down the application, you could see creative director intern, and it's of course unpaid. One right here, this is for a server job. How do you connect with American history, and how would it bring that pride to your role? It's like these companies have generic questions for any job application, even though it doesn't connect to what they need at all. Doesn't matter, they'll make everybody answer that question anyway. Hi there, thank you for your interest in G&G Incorporated. To move forward, please use 3 recent photos of yourself in JPEG format. We ask the photos not to be heavily filtered, and please include at least 1 full body photo. Thank you, we look forward to reviewing your submission. So before they even consider the rest of your application, they need to see what your face looks like, no heavy filters or makeup, anything like that, and a picture of your full body. Yeah, that's not a red flag. If you're interested in applying for this job, please do the following. Submit an email with the subject "Science is cool." In blue font, write 2 to 3 sentences telling us your name, who you are and where you're from, and what you like to do for fun. Who cares? In red color font, write a few sentences on why you think you'd be a good fit for this job. In black font, tell us your experience with marketing, automation, and email strategy. Include the link to your LinkedIn profile. We do not accept resumes. I think some companies just want to see how far they could possibly push people. We have another comment from one of you guys. The moment they stopped allowing people to show up for applications in person was the moment the job market collapsed. Well, I'll actually take that a step further now. We're going to start seeing less and less human beings at any of these job interviews now. It's just going to be a bunch of robots.
After taking a look of your experience, we regret to inform you due to your lack of experience, I believe that you are not a good fit for this job position. We wish you the best of luck in your job hunt.
So on top of the robot telling you and not a human being, this is for an internship. Of course you're not going to have experience. That's why you're trying to be an intern. Like, you really can't make this stuff up. That's what everybody was saying as well. Interns usually lack experience. That's the entire goal of it. Not enough experience for an internship. We have another comment from you guys. I had to do a self-interview for a position. Had to record myself answering the questions. I don't like interviewing in the first place, but having to listen to myself over and over again, getting my answer down correctly was a nightmare. All for you to go through that trouble to completely get ghosted.
All right, I need you guys to see this job posting because this just proved the job market is 100% up. So here's the job description. Basically, it's just a regular social media manager role and content strategist. So here you are, you're basically owning their brand message, creating a content calendar, creating 5 to 6 posts that range from like static posts, reels, short form, yada, 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 all this stuff. And this is a full-time job, by the way. Dude, they're paying $1,000 a month. What the On what planet do these companies think that paying $1,000 a month for a full-time social media manager job is acceptable? This is crazy.
We'll go right to the comment section with this one. Probably will outsource to low-income countries. So there was just comments like that over and over again. This was meant for somebody who did not live in the country, because I mean, full-time work making $1,000 a month is basically laughable now. Here's another questionnaire. Your boss is running late for a meeting and the attendees are growing impatient. What do you do? Reschedule the meeting for another time, apologize for the delay, provide an update, and engage the attendees with relevant discussion points until your boss arrives. Let them leave and inform your boss when they arrive. Well, which one do you think is the correct answer there? But I guess your boss running late is common enough to put it in the questionnaire for this company, and then you have to do his job until he shows up. Hopefully you actually know what the meeting's going to be about, and also all the knowledge that your boss has. So yeah, that sounds fun. And then the next one right after that, a farmer has 15 cows, but 5 run away. How many cows remain? What? I just don't get what kind of games these are. Here we have a quick screenshot from somebody who recently got denied from Toyota. However, they applied for the position in 2022, 3 years ago. At least they were nice enough to send a rejection letter 1,000 days later. Here's one that's pretty rough. Hi Gavin, please disregard our previous email above. We meant to send that to someone else. We really appreciate you taking the time to interview with us, and sorry for the mix-up. Have a great day, because he initially got hired for the job, but they messed up, and now he has to go back out on the job market. We have a comment from one of you guys that's similar to one of the examples earlier. When I was in college, I applied for an internship, got denied, and asked for feedback. The campus recruiter recommended I get some experience. I mean, people can't be making this stuff up if we're seeing this over and over again.
Imagine answering the phone, saying hello, and getting rejected as a candidate. Well, that's exactly what happened in this recruiter's story of how he called a candidate and he was totally turned off because the candidate didn't answer the phone saying, "This is Joel," or "This is John." Instead, the candidate answered the phone and said, "Hello." The recruiter then goes on to say how it's incredibly unprofessional to answer the phone this way. And if you're a candidate who's active on the job market, you should never answer the call this way. Now, I'm making a story about this because this is just how hard it is for candidates. Now they've even got to watch out how they answer the phone.
Now, I would say at this point that this has to be some sort of bait, but if you take a look at this profile, Jamie Mossberg, top office and global recruiters network, it kind of looks like it's a real person. Like, what kind of world is this? And then you also think that it's a good idea to put out on LinkedIn as if you're going to get any positive feedback from this? Oh man. This one also I thought might be bait just because of how odd it is. Do you like playing Pokemon? Would you like to play Pokemon Go around the world? The US Navy has the ability to take you around the world, allow you to play Pokemon Go and achieve your goal of being the Pokemon Master. Come talk to your local Navy recruiter today and see what the Navy could offer you, with a couple of their business cards below it. That is such a weird way to try to recruit kids. I just had to put that in this video. Here's another one. They were too lazy to actually delete the paragraph that was sent to them before they put up this listing. This role is already filled and created for them to apply. And then it goes on with everything you need to know about the job that has already been filled. It's impossible for you to get in. This one I found very interesting. You've reached today's easy apply limit. Great effort applying today. We limit daily submissions to help ensure each application gets the right attention. Save this job to continue applying tomorrow. Now, this is one of the programs that will mass send out applications that I initially believed that it was a bad idea, because if you think Indeed or LinkedIn is bad right now when people post jobs and immediately there's hundreds of submissions, if there's some sort of software or AI that does it for you, it's just going to get even worse to try to find a job. But this software that somebody's paying, of course, a subscription fee to use, has a limit on what you're allowed to apply apply for as well. Everything just slowly keeps getting worse and worse. Another comment from one of you guys: I've been out of work since August of 2023, doing what I love and spent 20 years doing it. It's to the point now that because I have such a huge gap, no company or recruiters think I'm qualified. So it doesn't matter that they were working the previous 20 years. And to be honest, it's not even people looking at the applications anymore. And we could see the problems of using AI for this task.
An entire HR team got fired after a manager proved that their ATS system was auto-rejecting all job applicants. After 3 months, they couldn't produce one qualified candidate, so a manager decided to do some detective work. He submitted his own resume perfectly tailored to the job description. Look at this: 10:56 a.m., application received; 10:56 a.m., application rejected. He brought this to upper management and they found a typo that auto-rejected anyone who didn't have the skills of a certain type of software that hasn't existed since 2010. So a bunch of HR people got fired.
It's really just starting to look impossible to get a good job. Here's just a quick screenshot: master's degree required, and you're getting $20 to $25 an hour. Some of the comments from this: Costco pays $30 with a GED. I bet that job shouldn't even require a master's degree. I'm getting paid currently $32 an hour with no degree. At this point, it's disrespectful to even have that. Our local Starbucks requires a bachelor's degree for the barista position. It starts $15 to $20 an hour. Saw one that required a bachelor's for $13 an hour for a manager position. The creator replied, just straight to jail. Here's a question on page 3 of 4 for this application. There's no salary for this position. Compensation is in the form of restricted share units in the company, directly tying your success to the company's success. That kind of sounds like a lot of the startup talk, so you'd end up just working for nothing. We have another comment from one of you guys: I'm an independent contractor. I was offered a position in a multinational company that required me to block access to my USB ports to avoid theft of clients' info. I said, okay, so you're getting me a laptop, right? Nope, I don't even mind using my personal computer for work, but you can't expect me to also give up every device associated with it for $7 an hour. Basically minimum wage there, and you have to use your own computer for the job.
Dual role teacher / office assistant, okay? In Georgia, where's the pay? $8 a hour, bro. Oh my God. It's 2 roles. It's a teacher and office assistant for $8 an hour, dude. What? It makes no sense, dude. I just can't do this anymore. I can't do it, man. Account manager, machining industry experience required. Okay. 50 to 60K a year. Jesus Christ, man. I cannot escape the 50 to 60K a year gauntlet on Indeed. I swear to God. Every single job is just like 50 to 60K a year, man. And this job is in Wisconsin, man. Gross. Wisconsin. Sales manager, 55K a year. Lordy. Sales manager for 55K. I gotta see these requirements in Flint too. Shout out to City, baby.
This guy has an entire series on his channel just going over terrible listings. I mean, it's a good idea. It's basically unlimited content. Here's another one that's very odd. Posted job range is 40 hours per week. Pay range $35,000 to $46,000 until the next paragraph. This position is funded through personal fundraising. Compensation will vary based on the ability of the individual to secure a donor team to fund the cost of their salary. The anticipated salary range for this position on a full-time basis, 40 hours a week, is dependent on a variety of factors, including location and cost of living. The actual salary received is subject to the individual's ability to raise funds necessary. So you gotta find somebody to pay you because this company's not. Like, what are we doing, man? Just real quick on this one: research assistant, Oakland University, $16 an hour, and of course you need a master's degree for $16. This one we have a very cringe rejection letter. Thank you for sharing your talents with us. We love getting to know you and hearing about your adventures. After much deliberation and a few rounds of rock, paper, scissors among our team, I'm immediately just getting uncomfortable. We've decided to move forward with another candidate for this role. It turns out that they had just the right sparkle we needed for this particular quest. But don't hang up your cape just yet. We encourage you to keep an eye out on our careers page for future opportunities. There's always more room for heroes. Thank you once again on your application. Wishing you a treasure trove of luck in your job search and magical adventures ahead. May the force be with you. That's rough. That was a rough read. Another comment from you guys: I got reached out to by a company I had a medical engineering internship with. I kept contact with one of the bosses there, so he reached out and said that they were going to have a lot of openings and encouraged me to apply. I applied to them and let them know. He told me he would get my application around to whoever it had to get to. A couple months later, got rejected. So even those internships didn't work out for that guy. There really is just no winning.
This is great. New level of job application hell just dropped. How do you feel life has worked out for you so far? Please record a short, roughly 2 to 5 minute video response and paste the link here. We recommend using loom.com. It's free. You can use any tool you prefer. Video interviews are the worst as is, and now you have to talk about how life has worked out for you so far. Not great, my dude. Not great.
But then for 2 to 5 minutes, you have to completely lie on camera because you have to act like a robot and everything is perfect and amazing for you to just have the smallest chance of getting accepted into one of these roles. Yet another one of the examples up on screen right now: senior intern unpaid. How could all of these words be put together? And some of the comments: we need a comment section on these job postings. People have been saying that for Indeed and Zillow listings as well for homes. I think that would be really funny. Unpaid interns requiring a whole master's degree is crazy. We need a LinkedIn social platform where the main purpose is to shame horrible recruiters. All of that kind of stuff would be content gold. Another one of the examples: that Amazon was too lazy to delete out of the qualifications portion of their job application. You're immediately getting rejected even if you don't apply. Thank you for your interest in Amazon, taking the time to speak with us about your qualifications and interest in the position. However, unfortunately, the team has decided not to move forward further in the process. And yeah, that's in the basic qualifications section of the job. Probably not the best look for them.
The working 9 to 5 is apparently dead, and we are officially in the rise of the infinite workday. And look, I know that sounds like an Avengers mission, and it just sounds like one of those other buzzwords, but it might be a bit more significant than you might think. And this is all based around a new Microsoft study looking into the working day of lots of different employees. And it basically goes to show how involved in work people are outside of the traditional 9 to 5. Nearly a third of workers, we're talking 29%, admit to checking their inbox or returning to their inbox before the time of 10 p.m. And weekend work is also on the rise, with 20% of employees now saying they're consistently doing at least some sort of work at the weekend. And this has led to nearly half of employees, so we're talking 48%, and over half of leaders, 52%, essentially admitting that their work now feels chaotic, unorganized, and really quite fragmented.
And this kind of stuff is only going to get worse. So all of the problems that we've seen in this video with the pay that you're getting or complete lack of pay, all the demands that they want, you're going to also be dealing with that job 24/7. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday, or if it's 9:30 at night, they're still going to want you to work. So it's really not surprising when you start seeing more stats like this come out.
2 million Americans have been searching for a job for at least 7 months. Now keep in mind that many of this 2 million have been searching for a lot longer than 7 months. For many, it's been easily twice that. And another thing, this number gets a lot larger when you consider the people who are not actively looking week in and week out. Some people have given up because the search is so hard, or they've had to take a break. We haven't seen numbers like this since 2017 if you don't count the lockdown. And when you consider the fact that the economy only generated 14,000 new jobs in June, you realize that a lot of people are in trouble, and that no matter what anyone says, the economy's fundamentals are very shaky.
So after you go through constantly getting ghosted or rejected immediately, you could go to the next step with the interview process, and I guess it's just completely okay for these companies to lie about what the role actually entails.
I just got out of the craziest interview I've ever had in my life. Strap in because I have some quotes for you guys. After the "hey, how are yous," she immediately got to it and said, "I am only going to be allowing 15 minutes for this meeting. I'm going to be talking to you about this job for most of the meetings. To reserve time, please only answer yes or no to my questions. If at any point you feel this job is not for you, tell me immediately so we can end the meeting. I know this job is not for everyone." Then she started asking me a bunch of questions about my criminal history, drugs, whatever. I don't have anything. I told her no. Her response was, "I already like you." This is a very fast-paced environment, very physically demanding. You may as well throw away your gym membership. What makes it even harder is that the vans are not preloaded. Vans? This is a sales and marketing position. She said, "Yes, while we did put that on the listing, this will be a delivery driver position." Now that you know this is a delivery driver position, 200 stops a day are required, and those need to be completed within the 10-hour shift.
So you're not allowed to lie on your job application at all. Companies will lose their mind if they find out, but it's okay for them to lie about what the position actually is. I mean, it's not even close. Sales and marketing position turned into delivery driver? How is that okay? And with every year that new college graduates get out into the real world, the statistics just keep getting worse.
The unemployment rate for new college grads has recently surged, and some economists say businesses are now replacing entry-level jobs with artificial intelligence. Here's CBS's Ali Bauman.
Front gate, front gate.
22-year-old Michael Macaluso just earned his degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Connecticut.
Go good?
But this summer, he's back helping manage his hometown pool. He hasn't found a job in his field despite applying for nearly 200 positions.
Did you have any expectations about what the job market would be like when you graduated?
I was told by a lot of people that I was going to get a job right out of college, and then all of a sudden, there's no jobs.
New research finds now, for the first time ever, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates has exceeded the national unemployment rate, ballooning to 6.6% over the past 12 months.
The comment section doesn't make it much better. Me watching as an unemployed recent college grad, 33,000 likes. It shouldn't be this hard for young people. So in short, college is a scam. Engineering can't get a job, we're cooked. So with those stats and all of the examples we've seen today, this is basically what companies are allowed to do when they post jobs now.
You just need one more interview. Reach for it. You just need one more interview. Come on. You're so poor. That's so crazy how poor you are. Come on. Reach for it. Was it your life dream to work here? We ain't even really giving out jobs. That's crazy. You thought you... We just got the listing up. We ain't even hiring.
I know that this is supposed to be funny, but this is reality for so many people right now. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.